2023 is going to be our year. The recent freeze has broken our water tanks and we've lost all our water. The shallow wells now have water in, but it's so. Nothing is working. Log splitter, broken. Welders to fix log splitter, broken. Battery on tractor, dead. Battery on ride on mower, dead. Veg in the polytunnel, also dead. Still, at least all the comments are really nice. They're really positive, aren't they? It's really nice comments. Oh wait. Did your husband knit that moustache himself, asking for a friend? Snowflakes infiltrated the off-grid scene. Cash grabbers only for profit. Wieners rich people don't have a clue. Rich people? I mean, we're living in a damp caravan. I'd hate to be poor. I don't know where he lives, like Wheelie Bin 32. Ego the size of a house, probably narcissistic. Am I narcissistic? And has liked it. Betrayal in the new year. Empty vessels make most sound. Please, for the sake of safety, do not take this as gospel in capitals. He starts shouting. Obviously don't take anything as gospel. I am a tree surgeon, but I live off grid. I'm doing lots of things where I don't know what I'm doing, and I think most off-grid people are touching on lots and lots of subjects themselves. It's not like I'm installing it in people's airing cupboards. It's my own home. We're showing the struggle. All those people that have said really nice things have given us nice comments. Thanks very much, because it's much appreciated. So yeah, this is a tricky part of the year. We're in January and things are freezing, problems happen, pipes can burst if they're not on the ground, and like we've got water tanks that are above ground, and they were a cheap tank at the time because we had other problems going on with a borehole that drew salt. And so what happened was we got these tanks in and they froze at the bottom, and right near the seals they've all broke. Glued them in the past, done a couple of years, and they've done it again. So we've now spent a load of money and we've got on order more tanks that are meant for this sort of thing, and we've put a big tank in place already. Yeah, and then there's the mud. When that freeze goes, then you're left with the mud. And it sounds like such a trivial thing, mud, who cares about mud, you're off grid. And actually it's a real pain in the neck because you get mud all over you, everything's muddy. You drive down the road, your car's covered in mud. If you get something out of the boot and you lean over, your coat's got mud on it, and then you look like you are, a rough sleeper or something. So it's really difficult. And then you haven't got water because your tanks have leaked to wash all this stuff that needs washing because it's all muddy all the time. You've got the low light levels and the short days, and we haven't got the amount of power that we had during the summer. You can't just throw things in the tumble dryer. We're doing the winter challenge. When you could, it cost you a load of money in fuel, but we are trying to cut back on that because it's expensive. So it takes a lot more time hanging all the washing out by hand, especially with 2 kids. You can get through so many clothes with them in a day. They could get through 5 sets in a day. They spend a lot of time outside in the mud. Our kids are very outdoorsy, and we don't try to stop them from getting muddy, really. Grace likes to jump and splash in puddles and things like that, and I think we've got to get that out of her system. This time of year it's dark in the mornings and we're up at 4 o'clock every morning. Albie is wide awake at 4 o'clock every morning, has been for months. So by the time it starts to get light, we feel like we've done a day's work with the children in here. Doing everyday tasks that you do, the dishes by hand, and so you feel like you've done a day's work by the time it starts to get light. Then you go to work and it's I've been working in frosty weather a few weeks back, really cold, climbing trees, and then yesterday it was just drizzled all day long, and you get soaking wet, and you come home and it's dark and you can't get anything done on the off-grid side of things. You can't actually do anything here, and it's actually very frustrating because there's always lots to do. You'll never be short of work if you are off-grid, the amount of things there is to do. Unless you've got lots of money and can afford to have people come in and do everything, there is so much to do, and it's really surprising. And this is why you want to buy it the best you can buy, because you don't want to be doing it again. You don't want to be going over like our tanks, putting tanks in again. but that was just to get us out of a fix because we'd gone down the wrong route in the first place with a borehole that was salty. The daylight hours are frustrating. We haven't got anywhere to really keep our tools really dry unless we put them in with our solar stuff. For some of the tools there's not enough room to do that, some of the bigger stuff, breakers and things like that, but everything, basically if you put it under the barn, even though it's out of the rain, it just goes rusty. Literally, you've got to spray all your tools with oil every year and try to keep them from going rusty. If you've got a set of chisels, I made the mistake of putting a set of chisels under there, and they went so rusty with just the damp air. It's so damp this time of year here. That is frustrating when you buy new stuff and you see all the screws and everything start to rust on it. Our welder is a prime example that there's something that has been stored in a dry shed, and I've got it out and it went pop 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 and it's not working any longer, and I can only put it down to it might have got damp. When we walk around here, when you get out of the compound bit that you've got to have for security of all these things, you know, there's no neighbours, there's no immediate neighbours. You've got a good buffer between people, and it's secluded and it's peaceful. When you walk through your own bit of woodland, you feel very grateful for that. It's a really lovely thing. And the land in Scotland as well, you know, near Loch Lomond, absolutely stunning. Really lucky to have that. And that's the thing with this sort of off-grid life. You know, you try to go for the nice stuff, but sometimes when you swim against the tide and want to get the utilities yourself and do things yourself, sometimes when you swim against the tide you get a face full of shit. That's what we sometimes get, you know, and you've got to be able to try and brush it off or wash your face after and just get on with it. You know, it is worth it. You can always see an end to it because you can learn from it and make it better. That's what we keep trying to do. This year we've got to consolidate what we've actually got. We've got to get our water sorted out because we were getting very, very low in summer when it comes to watering plants with the polytunnel and things like this. So we've got to get adequate storage tanks sorted out properly because our boreholes are all salt. And we're going to build a gasifier because we don't want to be messing around like this next year, hanging washing all over the place trying to get it dry. Especially with going to work, we can't hang it outside and every day it's rained and we come back and it's even wetter than it was when it went out. So, you know, to live a modern life where you have to go to work all day long and try and do this, you need to be able to have stuff that makes it a little bit easier. And so, I mean, some people in the off-grid community are a little bit against that. I think they like to get the old mangle out now and again to save a bit of power, but I really can't be arsed when there's so much else to do. So that's where we're heading. So if you'd like to see what disasters we get up to, then please subscribe. And if you'd like to see how our solar's getting on this winter in our solar challenge, you can see it here.